It was either kind of like, oh, well, you're a music ed major, or oh, you're a music performance major. Oh, you're going the performing route. Oh, you're going the music ed route. It was like this, when in reality, it's not like that at all. It's like this. Hey there, how you doing? Hope you're doing awesome. I wanted to pop on here and just talk with you a little bit about a couple of things. And the biggest thing I'm going to talk to you about is teaching versus performing, or is it versus, and how does that work exactly? So first, it's been really, really nice to get to know a few of you that I've been talking with in messaging. And it just really helps me to figure out where you're at and where you're at in the process and in the journey, and then what I can do to provide the best help that I could possibly provide. So I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you guys opening up to me and talking to me and that. So it's been super cool. It's been super cool to see you and meet you and all of that kind of thing, and talk to some people again. So thank you for that. So I wanted to talk to you about teaching versus performing. This is one of the things I'm really passionate about, because I believe that you can do them both, and you can do whatever level or to whatever degree of that you want to. So it doesn't have to be one or the other. And I think when I was a music major, this was something that was not, at least at the time being when I was doing it, it was not really communicated in a way that was inviting, feeling like you could do anything and you could have a balance. It was either kind of like, oh, well, you're a music ed major, or oh, you're a music performance major. Oh, you're going the performing route. Oh, you're going the music ed route. It was like this, when in reality, it's not like that at all. It's like this. So they're all interconnected. And it was actually really interesting, because when I was talking with someone today, actually, they were talking about how I didn't even realize how interconnected they are with teaching and performing. I was thinking, well, teaching is over here and performing is over here. And so it was really kind of eye-opening to be like, oh no, if you're a performer, you're a teacher. And if you're a teacher, you're a performer. They're completely intermixed. Hi, I'm Chelsea Melcher. I'm an opera singer that started a music school with my husband, Paul. Now, I also love helping stressed out moms that are performers and voice teachers and have a family find balance and fulfillment in their life. You can expect to see all sorts of things from me, going from performing, teaching, balancing, and everything in between. I'm really excited to share with you a project that I've been working on called Nerves Be Gone Academy. It's finally ready, and I'm super excited to share it with you. How it started is, it has broken my heart to see students with so much potential, so much talent, and then they get in their heads, they self-sabotage, and everything just goes out the window. All of their training, all of their talent, they're not performing to their fullest potential because they get in their heads. And we can play these crazy mental games with ourselves that can wipe all of the prep out the window. And so what I started to do is I've used techniques that I've used with myself, and in teaching myself how to have more confidence, how to manage performance anxiety. And then what I did is I organized them, and the tips that I use with my students, I put them all together in a course. And so that course is available now, an online course, so you can do it at your own time. There's video lessons and there's supported PDF documents that go with each lesson, and those can be yours now. It's called nervesbegoneacademy.com. So if this is something that, if I'm speaking your language here, if you are a performer and you want to manage your performance anxiety, or if you just want to have more confidence in general, or if you're a voice teacher but you want a proven method that has worked with other students from another voice teacher, then go check it out, because these techniques have been proven. I've used them on myself, and I've also used them with my students, and I can see them going from absolute basket cases to, there's been students that actually had to run off the stage because they were so nervous, and it just, everything fell apart on the stage. And then throughout working with them on these techniques, they went on to get solos, to get leading roles. And I watch them on the stage now and I'm like, wow, I'm so proud. I could not be more proud of you. And so go to nervesbegoneacademy.com if this is something that you're interested in. And so one thing that I'm super, super passionate about is this idea that I feel like it was not included when I was a music major, and it was just that you have to be one or the other. And so I feel like I've worked really hard. I've learned a lot of things the hard way, and I've learned a lot of things just by making a lot of mistakes. And I'm like, man, if there was just some person that I felt like I connected with on an emotional level, or I felt like I trusted, or I felt like I really enjoyed their content or their style of presenting or communicating their information, man, I could have saved myself a lot of stress and a lot of money and a lot of heartache and overwhelm. And so that's why I feel so passionate about being that person, because, and I could have had those people too, but it was more of a thing where I didn't realize, and it wasn't really presented in a way that I connected with and that it made sense to me. And so first off, realize that we're always learning, we're always growing, and there's always people that are there to help you. And don't ever feel shy to ask for help or support in any way that you need, whether it be from your private voice teacher or whether it be from a mentor that you have. And on the subject of private voice teachers, I just want to put a little disclaimer out here, because I know there's a lot of people in this group from different places, different journeys. Everybody's kind of at a different place. However, there are some of you that you still have a voice teacher, and which is awesome. But anytime I talk about vocal technique or things like that, I'm not trying to take the place of a voice teacher. I'm not trying to discredit any other voice teachers in any way. So just remember to work with your voice teacher and make sure that you're talking with them about your technique and everything. And maybe there's some things that I say that will resonate with you or that will help you. Awesome. But just know that I don't know your voice. And so I can't say anything that would really detriment that, if that makes sense. So just know that I'm not trying to discredit any other teachers in any way. And anytime I talk about vocal technique, it's more of the spectrum of what I've experienced myself or what I work with my students on. Okay, so that being aside, so one of the reasons why I'm super passionate about this is because I felt like it wasn't there for me. And so I've created for myself the life that I have wanted, which that's changed. Let me tell you this, because I started off being full-blooded performance mode. Like I was gonna be the star, I was gonna be the best in whatever way, right? And I think a lot of people, especially performance majors, have this mindset, which is great. It can be a very helpful thing in a world that is very competitive. But I didn't realize when I was a music major that I might teach. To me, it felt like, oh, well, you're either performing or you're teaching. But no, it's very, very connected. And in case you don't know me or my journey very well, I started off, I was a vocal performance major in Michigan, and then I moved to Ohio, and then I was a vocal performance major as well. So I got my bachelor's at Central Michigan, and then I got my master's at The Ohio State University. And then after that, I went and I got my performance diploma at Indiana University Jacobs School of Music. And so during that time period of my life, it was like performance, competition, performance, audition, all of that. And then for a couple years after I graduated from IU, I think I was still in that mode. And when I was in that mode, some of the things that I didn't realize were that I could have learned earlier how to be a better voice teacher. I could have learned earlier how to be an entrepreneur. I could have learned earlier how to have a different mindset that wasn't so detrimental and so hard on myself and so stressful in being a performer. And there were some things in that life that I was leading where there was a lot of like going around and sleeping on couches and doing a lot of traveling, a lot of plane tickets, a lot of having a certain gig, like having a gig for say 2 weeks, and I would sleep in a place or like a house that they provided, or the company that was doing it, there's a family and you live with that family. And so there was a lot of that going on, and I did also different sacred works and different things with orchestra, and then also just in general shows, productions where it was more of a longer contract. And there were some where I did where the show or the production, it traveled around different areas. And so I've kind of dabbled in a lot of that type of thing. And so I do feel very confident in what I have to offer as far as a life of performing goes, and auditioning and doing various competitions and shows and recordings and master classes and things with orchestra on stage. I feel very confident on that. But through that time period, there was this thought that like, oh, well, I can't like not do this because I have this very competitive nature and I have to go and rise to the top. And that's how I know that I've quote unquote made it. Or that's how I feel like I've found value is getting to the top at whatever I was. And so it was helpful, a mindset of helpful to be in a world so competitive. But one thing that's really hard that I don't feel like anybody prepped me for was the rejection. You can get rejections up the wazoo, and it doesn't mean anything about your talent. It could be, as one of my friends, Natalie Ballinger, says, it could be because your right pinky is too long. And so it's a huge slap in the face from someone that's going to wherever they are at in their journey at high school and then going to college. Yes, there is a transition there, but what's the bigger transition is going out of your degree program and then into the world. And that is something that I felt like I wasn't prepared for. Even with the degrees, I mean, IU, they're called a music factory because there's just a million people. There's a million sopranos that have a nice voice, that are pretty, that can act, that can dance, you name it. And so it's kind of like finding your niche and figuring out where to really present yourself and how to present yourself. But it's just a journey, and I felt lost, and I felt like I was always chasing the wind. And I want to talk a little bit more about this and another thing about some of the emotional things that can happen when you're in your degree program or even after, and kind of how to work through that. But the big thing that I wanted to talk to you today was about the fact that it's not one or the other. They're so interconnected. Even if you're on the performance track and you're like, I'm gonna be the best, or I'm gonna be the next star, I'm gonna be on Broadway, I'm gonna be singing at the Met, whatever that is, you're still gonna be teaching people because people are always gonna be wanting to learn from you. And it's also a great way to continue making a good income for yourself. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if you're like, no, I don't really like performing, I just like being a teacher, well, you have to have a little bit of either performing experience yourself, or you have to have some type of colleague or support system where you know and you can help your students prepare for what that is. I mean, you don't necessarily have to be a performer yourself to be a good teacher, right? That doesn't have to be the case at all. But it's having the knowledge of enough knowledge about what to help them prepare, especially mentally. Oh my gosh, especially mentally, that you can really help them. So they're so intertwined. And so that's something that if you feel like you're in one place or the other, or if you're not even, say I'm talking voice right now, but say you have a different instrument, but you're also interested in voice. If you're gonna be, say, if your big thing is to be a choir teacher, you're gonna have students that are super, super talented, and you're gonna wanna find ways to help them. And you're gonna wanna be able to help them start a career and everything like that. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about, just kind of setting your mind up for the fact of like, these are connected things. And I'm going to talk a lot more about this and in different areas and different aspects, but that's the first thing that I wanted to just present to you today. And so thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I hope to see you all soon, whether it be messages or live chats or whatever it be. And I do have some news to share with you guys. You guys are the first ones, I promise, to know the news. And so I'll share that with you soon. So stay tuned. All right, bye-bye. I want you to imagine what it would be like if you had so much focus, so much zen, so much peace, so much calmness, and so much excitement at the same time before a performance. As in, like, you're not getting in your head, you're not freaking out, you're not becoming a basket case, or you're not a hot mess. So if you feel like sometimes that is you, imagine what it would feel like if that wasn't the case, if that wasn't a problem anymore. It would be pretty awesome, right? So what is the first step to that? Working with your mindset. So if this is something that's of interest to you, I recommend going to stopcaringwhattheythink.com. If you're a performer and you want to have more confidence, if you want to get out of your head, these are tips and tricks that I'm offering to you for free. It's a free resource that can help you have more confidence, to manage that anxiety, and just to feel like you can enjoy life again. You can enjoy performing. That's what it's all about, right? So stopcaringwhattheythink.com. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every Wednesday and a new podcast every Friday. Thanks.